Anita, we had to have this call because I gotta say what's on my mind. Honestly.
You. I hate both of you.
There's something about
does
us.
something about us not feel right? It doesn't feel right these days. Life just keeps getting in the.
I just don't belong here. I hope you understand.
This is lyrics to a song.
Who feels right?
This is a song.
Is it?
Isn't this High School Musical? Yeah, it's lyrics to High School Musical.
No, I wrote this.
No, this is the song that Gabriella sings to Troy about moving on.
No, I wrote this. This is my breakup to you.
Shut up, Annmarie.
I've never even seen High School Musical.
Somehow, whenever we try
somehow the plan.
Is she breaking up with us?
It's always rearranged. It's always rearranged. It's so whatever to say.
It's so hard to say.
I've got to do what's best for me.
You'll be okay,
me, Anita. I gotta do what's best for me.
You'll be okay. We'll be okay.
You'll be okay. You'll be okay.
I gotta move on and be who I am.
I just don't belong here. I hope you understand.
You guys are absolutely ridiculous. I'm sick of both of you.
Anita, do you have any final words to say to the people?
Yes. Annmarie and Chanel copyrighted their entire script. And I want to file a lawsuit on behalf of High School Musical.
I would like to say that you're the one who actually said most of the song. So if anything, we can sue you. High School Musical is going to get you.
No.
Honestly, you broke up with us.
Leave it to Anita to turn our breakup call for her into her breaking up with us.
Oh,
and she
amen. What?
Hi, I'm Chanel Cummings.
I'm Annmarie Gaidish.
Welcome to
Sweet 15.
I can't believe we're actually doing this and we're actually back.
I thought you were gonna say I can't believe we ever stopped. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
But did we ever really start? That's the real question.
Especially like season 3.
Season 3, this is season 3, I think. Because season 3 was just one episode, so we'll just have to cancel it.
Exactly, that's why I put in air quotes.
Oh, okay. I mean, what if people are listening and people are going to be able to see us now?
I forgot. Sorry, everyone. I did air quotes around season 3.
Honestly, we have so much to discuss right now. I think people are probably really confused. Even I am confused at certain points. So
yeah,
we just have a lot of changes, and I think it's time to talk about them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for one, one of the first big ones is that there's someone not here with us.
Is there? Don't cry, babe. I know breakups are so hard.
Oh, but yeah, we're missing a voice. Not really. I mean, yes, we are missing a voice. But yeah. I don't know what to say about this.
Should we talk about it in more detail? I think so.
I think so too.
So basically, we used to have this best friend. Her name was, it rhymed with Pita. And now she's canceled. We don't talk to her anymore. She's dead to us. I might as well just put her photo up on my Instagram stories with a giant red X through it because she's so canceled. We still love Anita. She decided she wanted to go her own separate way. We're all still friends. I was just joking. Very close friends. But I think this is something that the two of us want to continue doing. We have a lot of thoughts about how we want to take the season to the next level and how we wanted to upgrade the podcast. We really wanted to feel new. We feel new and different. But there's still that classic charm, I think, that we had before. And so we will definitely have Anita on for future episodes and whatnot as a guest, but she will no longer be hosting with us, unfortunately. But she agrees that this is not really what she wants to do anymore. She has other things she's focusing on in her life. So
and
we'll let her discuss that.
Yeah, so talking also about like the upgrade and the change. Another thing that you may notice is that we're now going by a different name. So instead of room 3228, we're now Suite 15. Yeah. So
Not to
Emery, do
be
you
confused
wanna?
with Sweet 16.
Yes. It's not 16, it's 15.
And how do we get 15, Chanel?
So our thought was that we're upgrading. So we upgraded from having a room to upgrading it to a suite, pretty much. And then to get 15, we just added up the numbers of 3 to 8, which
Oh, yeah.
equals 15.
We are real mathematicians here. I mean, Chanel does have a degree in actuarial science, so I'm glad she was finally able to put it to use.
You, and Marie, because I know for a fact you did not listen to the last episode. You
I
did.
did. Okay. So when we were preparing for this episode, it's gonna sound so bad as a podcast host, but I never listen to the episodes back. I don't actually really listen to podcasts. Like, ironically, I do watch like bits of them on TikTok, but I never like sit down and listen to the full thing. I'd rather listen to music. And so Chanel is usually the one that's in charge of doing that. Like, I make the edits to the podcast, and someone basically else will like listen through it and tell me like what I need to edit out, and then I'll just like zoom through and take out any bits that I feel like are uncomfortable or awkward. So Chanel was like, let me listen to the last episode. It's been over a year since that episode. And she sent me like some clips of it. And she's like, it's so on point. Like, it's almost like we manifested some of the things that we want right now. But we're not going to get all woo woo, but continue.
Yeah. But no, what was crazy is that in the last episode, we were talking about like what we were hoping for the future and stuff. Of course, we thought we were going to continue the episodes for that season. And one of the things that we talked about was my degree in actuarial science. So it was just funny that you actually just brought
Actually,
it up. Yeah.
I feel like we never talk about it. So I'm actually surprised that we did.
I try not to talk about it. Like that was the whole point. It was like
It
I
was a
don't talk
dark
about
time in
it.
my life.
It was a time.
Those 4 years when I thought I was going to dedicate myself to math. Now I dedicate myself to Jesus.
Yes. Oh, we gotta talk about my man, my man, my man. I love Lord Jesus.
We really don't. We really do not.
But
I'm
okay,
gonna say right now he's a subpar boyfriend to you.
a subpar.
I'd say he's mid to subpar.
Oh, okay, we gotta edit that out. Okay, but this is not
I
even.
didn't say Jesus is mid to subpar. I said he's a mid to subpar partner for you.
Oh, okay. I do not agree with this statement, but I'll take your comment and we can move forward.
Thank you. That's very mature of you.
Okay. Okay, but yeah, so let's stick to the agenda.
Okay, so basically we decided we wanted to have a podcast like we had before. We wanted to focus on upgrades. We've both reached our mid 20s, which is kind of a scary thing to say. I still like to think that I'm 2 years younger than I actually am due to COVID. I would like to take those years back and reclaim them. But unfortunately,
22
that's
in my
not the way
head.
math works, right, Chanel?
Yeah, exactly.
But that's how it works in my head. And so we just really wanted this season to focus on upgrades. We feel like we're in a time in our life where there are a lot of things we want, there are a lot of things we want to work on. And we're just constantly focused on self-improvement and how we can get to those goals. I think a lot of times in your 20s, you're kind of in a state where you don't know what's going on, you don't know what you want. There's just all these options everywhere. You're comparing yourself to a lot of people. And we don't want that to happen. We want to talk about different topics that impact us at this age and kind of how we can take those lessons that we're learning and just become better people and achieve the goals that we want to achieve.
Yeah. So I think with that as well, because I feel like we're assuming that many of the people who are listening right now have listened to us in the past, but it could be possible that we have new listeners. So maybe we could give a little like background introduction to who we are and how we got here.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Do you
I
want
don't
to
know,
start?
Emily. You want to start?
I mean, I think you should take it away.
Okay. So, hi everyone, I'm Chanel. I am originally from New York City. How me and Emery met was in college. We went to college together. Spent 4 years there doing my undergrad. I studied actuarial science, which I have mentioned quite a few times just in the beginning of this episode already. Currently, right now, I live in Paris, France. I'm doing my master's, which I never thought I would do. I'm doing an economics, which I never thought I was going to do. But yeah, like I'm really excited about like this journey that we're on. And I feel like this podcast is a really good way of like having conversations and getting deeper into other people's minds and creating a community of people who may think the way you do or don't think the way you do, but we're all like sharing little bits of wisdom in between.
I
So
love
that's
that.
me.
That
Thank
was
you.
really beautiful. I feel like I want to clap.
You know what's crazy? I'm gonna keep bringing this up because I just listened to the last episode. We kept saying, "I love that for you,"
Uh,
and
that
you kept saying how you hate people that say that.
I just think I don't like when people use like very trendy sayings because I know it's gonna go out of style in like 6 months to a year. I never want to look back and be like, oh my God, why was I constantly saying like yes, queen? Like it's
Mhm.
cute, but it's not, you know? I just like in this season of upgrades in my life, it's just not something I wanna be a part of. But I probably will still do it. So call
Well,
me
with
out if
that,
I do. Call me out if I'm being hypocritical.
you
But
tell us about yourself.
okay. So my name is Annmarie Gaidash. I am 25 years old. I am a Pisces and I have a Scorpio moon, so watch out. Um, I went to Baruch with Chanel as well. I double majored in computer information systems and management of musical enterprises, and I double minored in business law and New York City studies. For a really long time, I thought I was going to be a lawyer. I don't really know why because I did absolutely nothing to prepare myself for this except become co-president of the pre-law society at Baruch College, where absolutely everybody I came into contact with told me not to become a lawyer because it would be miserable. But for some reason, I really thought that's what I wanted to do. I think I just wanted to torture myself. I think for a really long time in my life, I just enjoyed torture. I feel like I enjoyed misery and torturing myself. And I think that's probably why I'm like single right now and like focusing on myself because I just think I needed to get out of that. So I'm really passionate about mental health. I love to travel. I just moved back from London. I was living there for 6 months. Wait, did you talk about the fact that you live in France now?
Yeah, I brought it up.
Oh,
Said I live in
wow.
France and do my master's here.
I'm a terrible friend. I completely zoned out. So I was living in London for 6 months. My parents are originally from Slovakia, so travel, being abroad is really important to me. But right now I'm in a space in my life where I'm just really focused on professional development, bettering myself, and kind of achieving my goals. I really want to go into journalism. So I think that's what's next for me. I work full-time at HBO right now in production finance, which I know is like kind of all over the place. And then I also volunteer at the United Nations. Like a contract position. I do like web development and like I help them with any like charity events that they have for the women's club. And yeah, I'm using all these experiences because I know what I want to do is be a journalist and kind of share different people's stories from around the world and just highlight underrepresented stories.
Oh, that's so beautiful. You're so good at like representing yourself and
Thank you.
talking about yourself.
I'm talking about myself.
No, but
Some
it's such
people
a
say
good
I do it too much,
skill.
but I think it's the way I connect with people. So I think at this point I've gotten okay with it.
Yeah,
But
but it's such a good skill to have because the way you listed out everything you do, like if people have questions about this, if people are interested inside of it, then they know that you would be a good contact person for it.
I think so. The only thing I think is I ramble a lot sometimes, and I'm like, I do so many random different things, and I'm like, I don't know what space I fit into at all times. So I'm
Mm.
working on trying to find a way to more seamlessly integrate it because I feel like there are a lot of different facets of you, and I feel like when I introduce myself to someone, I don't want to be like, yeah, I work at HBO, and like that's all I do, because like, what
Yeah,
does that even mean? Like, it could mean anything.
yeah, true. I feel like that's how I introduce myself. It's like I say just like the most the thing that just comes to my head automatically. Like I
But I'm
didn't even
also
talk about my background.
I'm so proud of you because I feel like you take up a lot more space now in a way that in the past I
Oh,
feel like you wouldn't. And I mean it in a really, really positive way. Like I
thank
feel like when you're
you.
asked to introduce yourself, you should be taking that space to discuss all the things that make you you. Like
Yeah.
it's not and especially as women, it's not a bad thing to like sit there and like represent yourself because if you're not gonna do it, who
Mhm.
is?
Yeah, true. Hmm. Okay. So now that we introduced ourselves, we could talk a little bit about what is like what with the last episode, like what we talked about, if you remember. And then we can talk about like what we kind of plan to do with this podcast.
It's kind of sad when you said what room 3228 was. I had a friend recently who told me I don't hate change, I hate endings. And I think that's pretty accurate. It's like the idea of room 3228 ending is it's honestly a little bit sad for me because it was such an exciting time, even though we really dropped the ball a lot. And I like to think it's not completely our faults, but I think that's the crux of working with like multiple people on a project is like you have your own lives, your own like regular jobs. Eventually, like this would be great if this could be our full-time job, but until then, we still have a million hats that we wear and things to juggle. So just a lot going on. But Room 328 was just a time in my life where I was just hanging out with my friends, my best friends, like honestly, the best friends I had ever had in my life. And we were just discovering ourselves and discovering New York and discovering people from different backgrounds and learning about different topics. And we felt like we were like these cutting edge journalists. Like, do you remember when we really wanted to do that episode? I don't know if we can talk about this. Remember the PFN episode with
Ah, yes, I remember that. I actually brought that up with the friend recently.
yeah. Can we
Yeah.
talk about that? We probably
No,
have to
it's
put
not
out
our
this
story to tell. Our story to tell. But who knows? Maybe it might come up. Maybe we'll be able to tell it this season.
Okay. But basically we
Maybe
thought
not.
we were these cutting edge let me start again. We thought we were these cutting edge journalists. We were going out and like finding the scoop on our college campus where nothing all that crazy really happened. And it was just a time where I don't know, things were just really exciting. Like we didn't know what was gonna happen. And then, lockdown happened and then depression sunk in. So I see it as this really like solid, happy time in my life.
Yeah. No, I would say the same. Like, even because I feel like we did a lot, especially during COVID. We had so many guests that came on the show and shared some really, really like interesting perspectives on different points. Like, we had somebody come in and talk about politics. We talked about like women movements and women's rights. We spoke about like artistry and what it means to be an artist in today's culture, in today's world. We had some very interesting topics that were brought up that we were able to like share our ideas on, and yeah, get a different point of view. And I hope that's something that we continue to take forward with this new podcast.
I agree. I think what the connecting thread is just
Mm,
the two of us have such a special connection. And even when Anita was here, same thing. I think we all have similar values and we're able to really connect with our guests and create this safe space where people come on and talk about issues in a way where they don't feel judged, even don't necessarily agree with them. So I think
mm,
that's something really important that I want people to take away from this podcast is we respect people no matter what their opinions are. And I think being able to sit down and listen is such an important skill set to have, both in upgrading your life and just being a decent human being. And so I think the atmosphere is really what we take over and we keep consistent, as
yeah.
well as our groundbreaking journalistic skills.
Yeah. Um, I'll bring back some things that we spoke about in the last episode because I just think that they're so interesting. Because I feel like the podcast is always like it's also like a marker for life. Like any type of media, it's like a marker for life, whether it's music, videos, movies,
I
and
love
like
that.
podcasts now, like you're able to like go back in time and like see like a snapshot of your life in that moment. And the last podcast we did was, I think it was March. Was it March? No, it could have been March.
No, it was when we did our weekend getaway, the
Yeah, in
cabin trip. So that
December.
was like January,
Yeah, it must have been,
maybe
yeah, it must have been
February.
January
Yeah.
because it was already 2022. I'm sorry. I had it here. I promise you, I had it here.
I'm actually so excited to hear this. Like, I don't know, I feel like you're about to like share some groundbreaking information or something.
Yeah. So, okay, we uploaded it in March, but
Oh, we recorded it in
recorded
February.
in January. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was called Step Into. That was supposed to be the theme. And the title was Where You Been, which is crazy.
I love that title because
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about Ariana Grande anymore, but I used to love her and I freaking love that song.
I love that song also. Like, that's my song. And I would just talk about every dancing. I just talk about like the ending. Like in the ending, we all spoke about like where we wanted to be in the following year. And now that we're filming this, I don't know when it'll be released, but now that we're filming it in July 2023, the things we said we were gonna do, I'm not gonna lie, like you and Anita, y'all were very, very, very far. Let
Wait, what did I say?
me see if I can play it. Oh, my mom's on my Spotify right now.
Take her off. We have
Um,
work to do.
I didn't download it. Let's see if I could play it. No, I can't play
I think
it.
I probably said I was going to go to Tanzania.
You did. You
That's
said
the only
it.
thing I remember. But I'm going. I'm going in September, so I think it
Yes. Yes. So you said you were going to Tanzania. You said that you were studying for the bar
no,
as well.
never happened. Did not even. I paid the whole. This is so embarrassing. I paid like $2,000 for a prep course for no reason. I never even opened the book. I bought the textbooks. That's so not like me either.
Yeah, it's not. It's not like you at all.
I
Like, I don't
actually it just hit me like that's really not like me. Like I don't know what I was going through at the time, but that's really not like me.
know.
Well, I
Yeah.
must have been like super depressed.
Oh my gosh.
Because I think right now, if I wanted to, I would open, like, I think I've moved past that chapter in my life of wanting to go to law school. Because I think I know journalism is it for me right now, but I could
Yeah.
see myself opening a book like right now and like actually sitting down and studying.
Yeah, I was a bit, I mean, not surprised. Like, of course, I could see you as a lawyer, and especially the specific type of law you wanted to do was about like humanitarian rights and what was it? What was it again? What's
I
the
wanted to work on migrant issues, so
migrant
human rights
issues?
and migrancy.
Yeah. So I think this falls very in line with like who you are as a person and what's meaningful and valuable to you. But I also feel that like you actually going to journalism is more aligned to like who you are as a person and it still fits the value you have for like reaching people in underrepresented and who have underrepresented voices.
I
So
agree. And I think for me, I just needed something a little bit more creative. Like, as much as
mm,
I love the idea of being a lawyer, it was really just because it made me feel like I was smart and I had to be a lawyer, and that was the only way I could like public speak in a way that was like
yeah,
effective. And I think coming from an immigrant background as well, it was kind of like instilled in me a bit.
mm,
But I realized like I don't know, I have these desires to, as cliche as it sounds, like be famous and be seen in like a more visible way. And
yeah.
just I don't know, just I want to do something more creative. Like I want to use my voice in creative ways and combine that with social media. And I just don't think that's possible with law. And I don't know why for so long I was so attached to this idea. Like I said, I think I just like the idea of suffering.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, I recently, I should have said this in the beginning as well. So I'm currently working as an intern for the OECD.
Mhm.
If you don't know what the OECD is, I cannot explain it. You're gonna have to Google. It's just gonna be one of those things you gotta
Cannot.
Google.
Do you know
It's
you know how in Friends, you've seen Friends, right?
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how nobody ever knows what Chandler does? Like that's how
Yeah.
I feel about you. Like even with my dad, he'll be like, "So what is Chanel getting her degree in?" And I was like,
Let
"Oh,
me tell you, I did not know I was getting my degree in until I started going to school.
we know."
And so the first day of school, they
We
was
didn't
like,
well, we
yes.
went to the wrong building also.
I went I went to the wrong school.
Campus. Uh-huh.
I literally moved. I moved into the very specific apartment I moved to because I thought I was going to be 20 minutes away from school. Ended up that I went to the wrong school and the school I was going to was an hour away from the place
We did.
that I
We did.
actually lived.
I love that.
You love that for me, don't you?
I really do love I
Guys.
really do love that for
So technically, I thought I was going to school for like international management. I thought it was like a bootlegged MBA kind of like NBA degree.
It's
No,
wait, so what is
no.
it? I'm sorry. I feel like you told me earlier in this episode, but I'm still confused.
I study economics.
But now you just said international development.
It's that's what it's called. It's called International Development and Economics and
Okay.
Project Management. You know what? It's written in French, so
So is
that's
it just French for economics?
it's like development, international economics, and project management.
Okay.
That's a long title.
It's a bit much.
You see why I'm confused, right?
But to be fair, like instead of saying music management for my undergrad degree, it's like management
Yeah,
of musical enterprises, which feels a little ridiculous.
yeah. Ugh. But the thing is that I thought international business is what I seen. But let me tell you, the word business is not even in the title.
I don't even know what to say to you. I
Okay,
feel like
okay.
not including business in the title feels very European. Like, I don't know. I feel like in America, we're very like business,
Yeah.
capitalism. And in Europe, it's like silent capitalism. It's like
They,
capitalism with like a lowercase c.
there's something about economics that they just love here. They love economics.
Because it sounds fancier than saying
I
business.
guess.
Economics is like, oh, supply and demand. And
I
business is
guess.
business.
But in French, this is not what the podcast is supposed to be about. In French, economy is it means saving your money.
Economy.
Economy. Yeah, like my friends sometimes when they'll translate their French words into English when they're speaking to me. So my friend she would be like, yeah, so like I didn't want to save, I didn't want to spend my economy on this. So she's like, I didn't want to save my savings on this.
That doesn't sound right to me.
That's what I said. Like, that's crazy. That's not what I think of when I think about like, the economy.
I mean, you could say like economical, which is like you're saving money. So maybe that's the comparative word.
No, economy, that means savings.
Mm.
Yeah, and like capitalism is not saving.
That's interesting because in this economy, I'm not saving anything
In this economy,
except my
exactly.
soul.
I'm barely that. Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about last season. What were we
I'm sorry,
supposed
yes,
to
that was the
accomplish?
point. That was the
What
point.
were we supposed to like? I can't
Excited.
believe I'm the one who brought us back around. That is self-development.
That's development right there. That's growth. Yeah.
I've grown so much, not physically, but emotionally. I have transcended. I might as
That's
well
another
continue.
tangent. Okay. So I believe I'll go for Anita, even though she's not here. I forgot what she said, but
No,
I think
I don't think we need to include Anita.
okay, I won't include her then. Then for me, I technically did what I said I was going to do, but it's kind of cheating because I already knew what was I was going to do. It was already
That is
planned.
definitely cheating.
Yeah. So I said I was going to Turkey, which I already signed the contract for, so I knew that was happening. And then I said that I was going to do my master's, which I was already accepted to, so I knew that was already
This
happening.
is so unfair.
But I will say, I did say I was going to go to Bali, and I still haven't gone to Bali.
I feel like we were supposed to go when I came to Turkey. Like I thought we were going to go to Bali
Yeah.
until like a couple weeks before, and then we were like, no. But we did go to Greece.
We did go to Greece, so it's close enough.
I mean, yes.
Yeah, so it was interesting just to see like what we said we were gonna do and what we actually did. And then it's funny because at the ending of that episode, we talked about like how we were going to do like these listener letters and stuff, and we'll talk more about that later on in the episode. But we said we wanted to feel like a little bit like therapy. And I think when we're talking about how we want to bring back this podcast, we talked about it feeling like almost like a therapy session where people could come and kind of talk about their thoughts, their feelings without feeling judged or yeah, without feeling judged.
Yeah.
And Anita said that she was going to give us some 150 euro advice that she never did. We was like at the in the last episode of that season, she's gonna give us advice. I literally said if we get to the last episode,
And
and we did.
there was no further content after that
No,
episode.
nothing.
But I wanted to talk about that as well. The fact that we said we wanted this to like a drunk therapy session with friends.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I feel like I've always loved wine. So for me, it's just my one good friend Julia. We always have these wine nights at her house, and we'll just like drink wine and watch movies. You would love it, actually, Chanel. It's so fun.
Yeah.
We just sit and chill, and like sometimes we'll cry, and then we'll go in like the yard and the pool or something, and we'll just like chill. And I kind of want this podcast to feel like that. I want everyone to feel like connected, like they can talk to us about things, and they're coming here and they're getting actual real life advice. And so that's kind of where the call-in feature will happen. Chanel is like super, super excited about this, and she's been saying for the longest that she's so pumped for this. So I'm glad we can actually bring it into fruition.
Like some of the other podcasts I listen to, they always do this. And I think it's like a really good way of creating a community for one. And then also like I don't know if anyone else agrees, but I think I'm so wise. I think I'm so wise. I feel they give really good advice. Annmarie, will you say that?
Okay, I'm gonna say this. I think you either give really, really good advice or nothing. But when you do give good advice, it's incredible.
Exactly. If I don't give you anything, it's because I know that it won't be good advice.
That's okay. I like that. I feel like you check out sometimes when you're like, I've already given this girl. I mean, especially for me, she'll be like, I already told this girl the same thing
Yes.
15 times. She's like, I can't tell you the same advice anymore.
I'm like, I don't understand how many times I can give you this advice, how many times I can change the phrasing of my words for you to like actually do what I tell you.
I don't know about everyone else who's listening though. I'm not crazy. I just need repetition. So I need you to tell me a couple of times the same thing before it finally sinks in. Like even now, when I was talking about the fact that I was like, oh, for law school, like I don't know what was into me. I couldn't do it. Like all of a sudden, I feel like it sunk in for the final time where I was like, no, like there was something wrong at that point. Like there was something like emotionally wrong with me, and that's why I wasn't able to do this. But also, I know it's still not right for me. But like I feel like that realization, like it took me several times before it finally like sunk in. But everybody's different. For me, that's the way I hear things. But I will say the good thing about me is like if you give me advice, eventually I will take it if I think it's good advice. It takes me a while to get there. Like I have some friends where I'll keep giving them advice and I feel like they're never gonna take it.
Yeah.
Ever.
I think most people are like that, where if they're in the situation, they rather not take the advice. They want to talk about it. So that's why they bring it up and say they want advice. But they're probably not going to take the advice, truthfully.
That's
So
really cool.
because everyone is able to be the friend to give advice, to give good advice, but they're never the one to actually take the advice.
That's so true. That's actually really true. And that's why I've started asking friends lately, like, do you want me to listen while you vent or do you want me to give advice? But it's so hard for me because like I feel like for my friends, especially, I know what's right and wrong. So if they tell me something, I'll be like, no,
Yeah.
this
And
man
I
is
think
trash.
that's
No,
why,
it's not gonna work. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like that's why this listening, there's like these cut, like, what's it called? Like these listener letters would be good because there might be someone out there that is going through like a similar situation, but like, they're probably not brave enough to ask for the advice.
I
So if
love
somebody
that.
else has this letter, they're like, oh, like first, I'm not alone. And second, like I could get advice from people who seem reasonable.
I agree. I really want this to be a safe space, like you said, and I really want to create this community of people. So I want people to really, like you said, feel like they're not alone and feel like they can get high quality advice without having to pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars because healthcare is so expensive in the United States, and we have to have a whole episode on this in another session. I've had a lot of like healthcare incidents lately that make me feel like I'm supposed to be a doctor, but I know I'm not. Like I don't know. I feel like I'm supposed to like revolutionize healthcare or something in the United States. It's I don't know where this calling came from, but I'm just upset about it. Like even yesterday I was in the car, I like fractured my knee. That's another story. But I was in the car with my dad and I was just like, I hate being American. Fuck the healthcare system. And then I started crying and he was like, well, you can move back to Slovakia and just live in a village if that's what you want. And I was like, no, it's not.
That life's not for me. So yeah, so pretty much that was it. I'm sorry, what did we talk about?
It's always a lot of rambling, but I think that's what makes us special.
Yeah. And I'm really looking forward. Like we spoke about like what happened in the past, what happened in the last episodes, what our hopes were, what actually occurred, what actually happened. But I really hope that the hopes and dreams we have for this season actually come to fruition. And if not, then only things that are better.
Wait, let's each make one goal right now for what we need to achieve by the time we start a new season of the podcast. One goal. It doesn't even have to relate
Okay.
to the podcast.
Wait, you said it has to relate to the podcast?
It doesn't. I think I
One,
know mine.
I think I know mine too.
If yours is the apartment, I'm gonna lose it because you'll have that in like literally less than a month. You keep cheating. You can't do that one. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. Okay, fine.
You can't keep cheating on this. You know I'm competitive.
Okay, fine. I'll have to think of something then.
Okay, I know mine.
Okay, what is yours?
Within a year, because I'm assuming that's when we'll have the next season of the podcast, I need to have quit my job at HBO and I need to be working in like a full-time like journalistic position. I don't know what that entails, if it's going to be broadcast or what it's going to
Yeah.
be, but I need to be working at something like that. Or I could still be at HBO, but be like working in like a different conglomerate. So maybe for like CNN or something. I don't know. Something
Yeah.
else like at Warner.
In 1 year's time, I think I want to do something with like my YouTube channel. I want it, I want I want it to be better. I want it to be better. I want to be the type of person, I wouldn't say like a full like influencer or something like this, but I want to create better content on it. And I want people to recognize it.
I
Like
think you
recognize.
already create good content. You're just not putting it out there. I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue is consistency. Because that's my
Yeah,
issue with like my Instagram as well. Is like you need to be consistently posting. It's like batch creating
exactly.
content. Like the way we're gonna do this podcast now is like batch creating stuff and then having it
Mhm.
scheduled to go out.
Yeah. So I think that's the like my main thing. Like I need to be more consistent for sure, but I think the quality as well has to improve. And I want to get like I want to get sponsorships. Like
It's
stuff
so
like
funny. I just got a sponsorship for this travel company, but I'll tell you about that later. I'm really excited. Yes, so I think those are great goals. And then a goal for the podcast that I have is I want us to get like invited to premiere for something. I want us to get invited to some sort of like high profile event with like celebs besides us, obviously. And I don't know, I just wanted to go places this year. I just think this is the year we can actually make things happen. I want to
yeah.
get one big high profile guest on the show. And we'll do that as a special. So in addition to our 10 episode season.
Yeah.
And I want us to host an event. Like I want us to be like reporters on a red carpet for an event. So not only attend an event, but also be like working an event.
That's what I want as well. Yeah, I think this could happen. I 100% believe that if we speak these words out into the universe, they will come.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, we
So,
gotta wrap this up. We got places to be.
yeah, true. I really have to get to my second job now.
I have to take a nap. It's way too early for me.
So, pretty much just wrapping up this podcast, I do have a confession to make. So, I have two boyfriends. I have Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. And then my second boyfriend is Chad, aka Chat GPT.
Oh my god. Get out. I am done. I am done. I don't want to do this podcast anymore. I don't want to be your friend. And we are no longer soulmates. I cannot believe you just said that. I actually didn't know where that was going. I was like, who is the second? Like, there's so many possibilities. At the same time, none of them are legitimate. So I don't know what's happening.
Yes. And pretty much Chad helped me with this podcast, with the agenda for the podcast.
Okay, so the way we do these agendas, we should just let them know. We should just unleash all the secrets because it's about being real. So I think everyone needs to know. Typically, Chanel will make the agenda. I don't like being the one to start it, but I'll definitely finish it, as I feel about most things in my life. So Chanel will make the agenda. Chanel will make the agenda, and then I'll go back and edit it. And so, like this time, Chanel's like, I don't really know what to do. So she basically went to ChatGPT and just asked her.
Him.
It's chat. Okay, asked him. That's kind of sexist. Why does it have to be a him? Like
I mean,
AI
Google's
in
a
this tech world is
her.
already so like man
Google's
dominated.
a girl. Google's a girl for me. Her name is like just
Gina.
Or Gina. I like
I like
Gina.
Gina.
Yeah, but she's so wise.
Uh-huh.
I'm kidding.
Uh-huh.
Chad lies a little bit. So it's like
Chad does feel like a Chad because Chad is kind of
Chad.
like he's like that macho guy who thinks he knows everything but is actually kind of like a dumb blonde and doesn't know anything. It's kind
Yeah,
of
like he
like
knows a
surfer
lot.
vibes.
Yeah. But I
Chat
love
GPT is a
him.
Chad.
He's a Chad.
Chat GPT. I don't know.
Yep.
It sounded weird when I said it. Chat GPT is a Chad.
I never say it correctly.
Chat GPT.
Yeah. Okay, that's not the point. The point is, Chad helped me with the agenda, but he put a bunch of like random stuff inside of it.
I had to take some of it out. He really wanted us to be peaceful. He was focusing on tranquility. It was really giving the stone surfer vibe, like I said.
Such a Chad. I tell you.
It's such a Chad. Now that you said it, I can't stop thinking it. This needs to be like a TikTok meme. Like this is how we're gonna get famous. It's gonna be like, two random girls say ChatGPT is a Chad.
I didn't come. I had to say I didn't come up with Chad. Somebody else came up with Chad.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm sorry.
I've lost respect for you.
I'm sorry. Somebody else called him Chad, and I was like, that sounds correct.
Okay, so what did Chad say we should do to
Yeah.
end this chat?
Sorry. So for the closing, he gave us, stay tuned for more episodes filled with laughter, warmth, and insight on Sweet 15. Until then, take a deep breath and
No, Chanel, we edited this one. He said the first bit.
yeah,
ChatGPT said, thank you for joining us in this chat. Remember, finding calm is a journey. And we're so glad that you're a part of it.
but there was a second part. He was like, take a deep breath and but we took out the and part.
Oh, I deleted it.
Yeah.
That's
So now
kind of
we have to
this
figure out
defeats the
ending.
purpose. Oh yeah. Okay. We should so we're gonna do this every episode then, I think. Because this is what
Yeah.
ChatGPT wants us to do. This is what
I
Chad
love
said.
it.
So we're gonna just say, since we want it to feel like a therapy session, we're just gonna end the episode by saying, until then, take a deep breath and we're both just gonna scream the first thing that comes to our mind. And we're gonna open this up to listener participation.
Yeah, I love that.
But now it's like we've been talking about it for too long, so I feel like I've already thought of answers.
I thought of really weird answers that I can't actually say, so I'm ready
You can
for
say them.
No, it's weird.
Okay, so should we go 3, 2, 1 and just say it? Until
Yeah.
then, take a deep
Take
breath,
a deep breath
and
and chew on gum. I'm sorry. Oh, you said after 3?
I didn't count down yet, but also your answer left me feeling confused. Okay, until then, take a deep breath and eat some raspberries.
Chew on spinach.
Why are you chewing on things?
I don't know what's coming to my
Why
mind.
spinach?
I think I'm hungry.
Are you Popeye?
Oh, I can't eat meat at the moment.
No, Popeye the Sailor.
Oh.
I'm done with you. Okay, it's been real nice chatting with everybody. Thank you for joining us in Sweet 15, and have a blessed day.
Bye.
The recording has stopped.